Hi folks, it's Andy. There seems to be some confusion about what we mean by hardware pin simulators for individual programming assignment 3, so I just wanted to walk you guys through that real quick. If we look here at the Kinoma Create sample that is the analog drawing toy, we'll see over here that, like in real life, this is a physical thing. It's hooked up to a Kinoma Create with 2 potentiometers and a 3D accelerometer, and it has a display where if you turn the 2 knobs, you can draw, and then whatever you drew shows up there on the screen. And the important thing to get here is that there's real sensors and there's the real UI, and interacting with the real sensors changes the UI. So how do we simulate that? We go into Kinoma Studio, and if we want to load that sample, we can go Help, and then Welcome, and then Examples, and then Analog Drawing Toy, which is the very first sample. And it'll come up here and say, do you want to install that? And I'll say yes, and it'll go ahead and do that. And then in here, if we look, we see that right now by default it wants to run in the Kinoma Create simulator, which is great. That's what we want to do. So we're going to go over here and we're going to say run. And we get our sample running in the Kinoma Create simulator. And the important thing to note here is that we need the screen to actually be the display for the sample, because it's a sample that actually uses the screen. So in order to simulate the input from those 2 potentiometers and from the accelerometer, we have these hardware pin simulators over here on the left. All right, see that? And the idea here is just that we can take these things and we can say, all right, I want to turn off the automatic changing of these axes, and I want to turn off the automatic changing of these axes, and now I can go in here and I can draw with the potentiometer, or I can shake with the accelerometer, and you can see that now I'm using the potentiometer simulators to actually draw against the screen, which is good. That's what we want. And this is actually using a hardware pin simulator. So that's wonderful. We can go in here and we can look at how that's being done by opening up Simulator and seeing what the simulated potentiometers look like and simulated accelerometers. And that's all there is to it. So if you go in here, you can check out the sample code, you can see how to build those hardware pin simulators, and then you can use those hardware pin simulators to simulate real hardware like this without cluttering up the UI with lots of fake buttons and dials and things that would be the input from sensors. So there you go.